Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back on the Update Fire and Ice dev server, and it's time to have a look at another vehicle which was added to the dev server. Well, at least in the files, it wasn't actually added to it yet, but it looks like it's probably going to come this update. This is the RN Folaga. It is very similar to another machine that is already in the game, in the form of the Gabbiano. You can see the Gabbiano here. It sits itself at rank 4 at 3.3 in the Italian tech tree. The good old Folaga is not really different to it. It's basically just the premium version of it. So if you want to grind through the coastal tech tree for Italy more efficiently, you can pick up this thing instead of using the other vehicle. So the Folaga is slightly different in a few ways. Basically, this area is different. You can see it has a single 100mm on the front. It also has a dual 37mm on the back, and also 3 single 20mm guns. You can see them in a triangular formation right here. It also gets 2 torpedoes, one either side. I don't like it when they set them up like this, because it means that usually you can only get one off. So comparing that to the Gabbiano gets 2 dual 20mm and 3 single 20mm. So basically the difference is this gun on the back and also the way that the bridge looks. That's pretty much it. I believe the Folaga, at least the way that it's set up, is a slightly more modern version of the Gabbiano, at least in the same class. But we'll have to see when it comes to the game how they represent it. So the vehicle itself, it has only extra armor on the 100mm gun. The general armor is 16mm of steel on the hull and 4mm on the superstructure. It actually has quite a lot of crew. 112 crew for quite a small vessel is pretty impressive, so the survivability will come through from there. And the gun itself on the front is a 100mm Auto Mod 1937. Its fire rate's quite nice. Basically 10 rounds per minute, so 6-second reload on it. Because it's 100mm, it will be able to overpressure stuff, which is pretty cool. You'll be able to donk on people, which is quite nice. And then the 37s on the back. Usually with vehicles like this, what you can do is you can kind of turn them around, sit them behind rocks, reverse out, fire the 37s, do a ton of damage, and then like go forward back in. A lot of people do that with stuff like the USS Candid, for example, and it works pretty well. It's not a bad idea. It's generally can work pretty good. You just got to watch out for bombs and stuff like that. Obviously in the center you have the engines, the smoke funnels, and everything else underneath. The only real massive ammo storage on this thing is in the front here for the 100mm, so that's probably going to be a tough way to deal with it, or a tough thing to deal with it. You can see actually here on the back how you have these 2 kind of areas which are set up, and then the dinghies on top. This looks really cool. I wonder what this is for. This can't just be for launching dinghies. Is this for... it might be for depth charges actually. So the vehicle itself, it does have access to different shells for the 100mm. You got the HE, the APHE, which is looking pretty nice on the pen front, and then also a HETF, so a high explosive with a timed fuse. And the nice thing about something like this is the variety of the 100mm. So no matter what you face, you'll be able to do damage to it. The main issue with the vehicle like this is you are wholly reliant on 100mm to do all of your damage, especially at slight ranges. And since this thing is at the same BR as some destroyers, it's going to be quite tough to kill them. So we'll have to see how that goes with the vehicle itself. Another thing to also know about a vehicle like this is I wonder what type of damage model it's going to be given, because that's quite a big thing for a vehicle like this. If it gets access to a better, or if it can't get overpressured, or gets access to more similar DMs to the destroyer instead of other things, then it'll be quite nice. It looks like it can't shoot the 100mm straight forward, which is also annoying as hell. So you can see here, we're having a little bit of issue actually aiming at the thing. I have to be able to turn this much for the 100mm to actually be able to aim at this target. So yeah, this is probably going to be more of a long-range machine compared to anything else. So hope you're ready about that one. It's always annoying when ships are set up like that, when the front of it is actually higher than the gun. Obviously, when it comes to real life stuff, there is reasons to do this, but in War Thunder it's just a bit of a pain. But yeah, we'll have to see what ends up happening with it. The 100mm itself, you know, it's gonna do damage. It's gonna hurt targets if you can hit them. You can see there we took out 50% of this guy's crew, just one hit. Doesn't seem to be overpressuring though, that compartment, so there's that, and then bonk. So against stuff like PT boats, if you can use the 100mm effectively, you'll do really well. I feel like this is going to be more of a standoffish machine in coastal though, and against stuff such as destroyers, you're going to have a pretty rough time, just like all these general vehicles have. So with the right matchmaking and the right coastal machines, it'll be super fun. But against a lot of the meta stuff of these BRs, it'll probably struggle a little bit, unless they give it a really nice damage model. So as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Forge, Siegebreak, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, and also Sem Arslan, Wilkski, Uncle Bean, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.